Yasas. I'd like to discuss this thing that I saw today on Facebook, which really upset me. It's called Heterosexual Awareness Month. It's supposed to be in July. Unfortunately, I think that this is actually real. Otherwise, I would just laugh it off. But apparently it's being done because we heterosexuals, yes, I am one and always have been, are suffering from having our rights taken away, and our traditions are in jeopardy, and there is heterophobia in the world. Alright, let's back up here for a minute. We're going to discuss Western society because that's what's relevant here. We have been exerting our will over everyone and everything for so many centuries. I don't know how people cannot be aware of us. It's like saying, are you aware that you have two hands? Yes. Are you aware that you have hair growing on top of your head? Yes. That's ridiculous. I would like to know how our traditions are in jeopardy and what rights of ours are being taken away. My parents are lesbians, and they've been together for over 23 years, which is far longer than many heterosexual couples. If I get married, which, by the way, is always called a marriage, whether I go to City Hall and do it, whether I go to a religious ceremony, it's still called a marriage. I have full rights. If I go to any part of America, and even other parts of the world, I am still considered married. If my parents, who had a civil union, go to other states, they're not considered married or in a union or anything like that. If, again, hypothetically, because I'm not actually married, but if I was, and I got sick, and I had to go to the hospital, my husband could come and see me. There will be no questions asked, no matter what state I was in. If Mom and Joni went to another state where they don't recognize homosexual unions and one of them got sick, the other one could not go because they're not family, which is, I think, ridiculous. If you personally say, I want this person to be with me, it shouldn't matter who they are or what they are. The same goes with the wills. If my husband died and left everything to me, I would get his inheritance. And the same is true for me if I died and left everything to him. If one of my parents died, here, yes, in New Jersey it's okay. But in other states, a brother or a sister or anyone who's related to them by blood can change that. Okay? We heterosexuals are not looked at as strange or abnormal or anything else. So I would like to know where it is that our rights are in jeopardy. Now let's touch upon tradition. And a lot of people will say, well, homosexuals, they can't have children, so they're depleting, the population and they're harming people. All right, they cannot. Well, okay, physically they can if they decide to go with someone for the opposite sex just to have a child. All right? But guess what? There is something out there called adoption. I was adopted. Mom is technically my aunt. Now, my biological mother is heterosexual. Always has been. No homosexual tendencies. She was also a very heavy using heroin addict. And as a result, I was born 2 months premature, and due to that and too much oxygen or a blow to the head, whatever the situation was, my retina is detached and I became blind. The children who stayed with her are school dropouts, drug addicts, drunks, anything you want to call them. And that's the truth. I'm not just saying it to be mean. They really are. I have a college education. My mother, who is my mom, and I don't care whether she's technically the woman who gave me birth or not, gave up everything for me. She had a successful business. She wasn't a millionaire, but she was quite well off. She had enough that she could just relax, and she gave it all up for me. Stayed home to take care of me. went to college with me, physically went with me to college so that I could focus on my education and not mobility. Did she make mistakes? Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. Especially when you have a blind child and you don't know what to do and there's no support there. But you know what? We got through everything. And her love that she has for me, I have so much that I can bottle it and sell it. And guess what? The same thing is true for her partner. Just because we have a different kind of relationship, I'm closer to Mom than to Joni. Joni would still die for me. So, oh, and did I forget to mention that I, the big heterosexual, had a tubal ligation? So guess what? I can't have children. Does that make me any less worthy? Should I not have a relationship just because of that? There are heterosexual couples that either cannot have children, maybe one of them has a disease and doesn't want to pass it on, maybe one of them, they just can't, or they don't want to. Not everyone wants to have children, and that's okay, because guess what? Not everyone is fit to be a parent. You can be totally irresponsible, or you can be a career-driven person and say, you know what, I just don't want children, and there's nothing wrong with that. So why should they be criticized, homosexuals be criticized, just because, what, they love someone of the same sex? We're talking adults. Now, are there homosexuals who hurt children? Yes, but guess what? There are heterosexuals who do the same thing. I mean, what do you think that they do? Did I go downstairs every morning to gay class? No. I didn't even know my parents were lesbians until I was 16 years old. And it's not because they were ashamed. They just didn't want me to have to go through ridicule and everything else, being that I'm blind and I have enough things on my plate. But I was never, ever, ever told, oh, you know what? You really should consider becoming gay because it's such a better lifestyle and you should hear it. Let me find you a girlfriend. Never. That would be like me saying to my sighted son, hey, you know what? You should walk around with patches on your eyes. Or here, let me come and blind you with some light. This way you could be blind like me. Now, am I saying that being homosexual is a disability or it's abnormal or wrong? No. But there is discrimination involved. You know, there are people who don't understand. There's all sorts of, workplace discrimination. Why would I want that for my child? The same thing, I know that as a blind person. People don't talk to me. At least usually people will speak with someone who is gay. Even if it's just because they don't know it. I can't hide my blindness. I can't say, no, I could see you. I have my eyes closed for a minute. So I know what it's like to be discriminated against. And I know what it's like not to have people talk to me or want to sit next to me or touch me. Because, all those things can make you blind, right? Because we have a secret conspiracy to take over the world. So, one day just watch out, all you sighties, because we blindies are going to take over. Come on. The same thing is true with gays. Just because you say hi to one, or you shake someone's hand, or you sit next to them, you're not going to become gay. They're not going to all of a sudden start this major movement to change the world. Unless it's just for tolerance, for understanding. And isn't that what we all want? Don't we all want people to just appreciate us for who we are, not what we are? Please, we don't need a holiday or a month to recognize us as heterosexuals. We need to start being more open-minded towards others. Thank you.